Welcome to the exhibition of Cats and Dogs at the National Gallery of Victoria. It is literally celebrating the cat and dog in society and in our lives. We've drawn across all eras and all cultures and all media. We actually ended up breaking the exhibition into 20 themes, all cat and dog related. So there's 10 cat themes and 10 dog themes.
So the main quality within the dog is faithfulness and loyalty, and that really comes out in most of the thematics in a slightly different way. So we start the exhibition with working dog, which although the dog works for humans in this sense as a hunting dog or guard dog, at the heart of that is loyalty, and that goes right through to our personal relationship with the dog, which we end the exhibition with Faithful Friends, and that really just celebrates our relationship and the faithfulness that the dog has to us.
I think when artists have looked at cats, I think they're not just beautiful creatures, but the astonishing personalities of the cats all really burst forth out of the works. And whether it's a photograph of a cat, which is totally naturalistic, or an abstract work, I think the artists have still captured something about their quirky personalities and their individuality. And although we have over 100 images of cats in the exhibition, each work looks unique and it has unique qualities to it. The cats and the dogs in the exhibition are absolutely inspiring for all these artists.
These works are painted in a font I had developed specifically for my arts practice in 2019. The font is called the Billboard font and was designed with a local typographic designer called Daniel Veniclas. They're hand painted in One Shot, which is a signwriter's enamel. And the idea behind the works was taking an image that generates words and then taking those words and allowing those words to generate images, kind of a game of leapfrog or a picture worth 1,000 words and then words worth 1,000 pictures kind of experiment.
The work that she did with women, for example, during the Second World War, shows her really celebrating your workers. It's kind of always with her a little bit off-centre. It's like she doesn't take the grand view. She's very interested in people, really showing a passion for social justice and also for being part of the world that she lived in. This idea of women supporting each other was very important to her. She had come to Manly and was working with Thea Proctor. They were painting around the shoreline. And it's really interesting because there's this shift that happens with codes of bathing. So it's actually really fascinating painting on a number of levels. We see some people dressed in their full regalia and then some people wearing quite radical bathing wear for the time. And Ethel was really interested in the modern woman and the modern surfer girl. So she captures this as part of this wonderful painting. There are around 140 works in the Ethel Carrick exhibition and 65 lenders, so it's pretty big. A lot of her works needed to be redated. There was a lot of new research. It was a challenge in this big exhibition space. A lot of her works are quite small, especially the early ones. And I wanted to bring dense little groups of works together. For example, when she was working in the Luxembourg Gardens, she was going out of doors, still quite radical for a woman to use the public arena as an alternative studio. She would often take exactly the same scene, the same composition, and just riff off it in a different colour palette. She was really interested in the making of pictures. I wanted to show the density of what she'd achieved and then to move in a way that there are rhythms across the show. So the middle room of the exhibition shows work from Italy, it shows work from Spain, from the French beach resorts to North Africa, and then we move through to the last room, which shows her painting in India. And then, by that stage, she was in her 60s and she lived for a time on a houseboat. She didn't have much in the way of funds and she was really intrepid, but travel was something that really ignited her and with that kind of inspiration she made some of her best pictures. So I really wanted to take a clear-eyed look at Ethel Carrick in her own right.
The seed of this project was a news article I read that said that only 17% of biographies on Wikipedia were on women. And so that fact, combined with my desire to celebrate Anne McCahon, who's Colin McCahon's wife, has resulted in these quilts. I really wanted to celebrate Anne McCahon, who sacrificed her career for Colin McCahon's, the greatest of all New Zealand modernist artists. And I'd heard that she used to embroider the collars of the shirts of her 4 children, and she was very creative within the resources she had. So it's a classic tale where the woman sacrifices her career for a man's career. And so in celebrating Anne's story, I wanted to celebrate all those untold stories of women, and that's how it manifested in the quilt. The idea came from Anne's resourcefulness.